Hello, other humans. You are listening to Dude, Check This Out, the episode 12. Enjoy.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dude Check This Out. Brand new week, brand new us. We're looking good, we're looking sharp. I'm pretty excited. Today we have our first full episode with a guest. He's pretty awesome. He's
It's not me.
It's not Noah.
I don't know why I said something.
Yeah, so I'm Kevin,
I'm Noah.
and today we have our sharp guest in a suit. His name is Jonathan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Jon-e Boii. It's Jonathan.
It's Jonathan, but all the cool kids call him
I mean,
Jon-e
which
Boii.
do you prefer?
It depends.
Let's
who's-
get real.
It depends.
get down to the
It depends
nitty-gritty.
who's talking to me. Usually, if I introduce myself, I introduce myself as Jonathan. But normally, if someone else introduces me, like I just walked in and someone goes, "Oh, who's that?" and then one of my friends will just go, "That's Jon-e Boii," because I don't know why they use it.
So
Just something that's
so
followed
to
you.
This
the
is just my life now.
to the
Yeah.
internet, what would you like to be called by? To the internet.
I have no idea.
Well, that's kind of long.
Do you think you're funny?
No.
Oh, no.
No, I do not.
We've been had. It's all a ruse.
It's all a ruse. Okay,
I mean,
Johnny
Jon-e
This
Boi's
is a
fine.
toupee.
yeah. What? What? Really? So convincing.
Lying the whole time.
I've known you for so long.
This has been a toupee since before we were 5 years old.
The long con.
You just slowly put on bigger ones as his
Yeah,
head is
uh-huh,
growing.
uh-huh. That's
Exactly.
right. That's right. Cool. Well, Jon-e Boii Jonathan, you are here today to show us, or we have seen to talk about.
Your name.
Can you take so tell that story? Been looking everywhere for you. I follow the sound of your innocent laughter. It guided me in the right way. Even if every piece of you disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah. Kimi no Nao. Or
Is that-
whatever.
Is that what it is?
I don't think I'm sure I butchered that, but that's what it is.
Welcome to my life. That's why that's what I did with all the Bakuman. I butchered everybody's names with Your Lion April. I'm glad I'm not the only dude. I appreciate you.
I mean, we're kind of all white males here, so
We are.
it's fine. I mean, I will do a better job in the future.
I won't.
I said that, and I had no intent behind it. I just lied straight to the internet.
You are a perfect fit here.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
going so well so far.
yeah, it's going great. So you want to give us a little bit of background again, or a little refresher on what exactly your name is?
Sure. Your Name is the 2016 anime put out by Makoto Shinkai. It is a romantic comedy,
Sure.
and fantasy drama.
Yeah.
That whole mesh of words.
Mm-hmm.
About two teenagers. One lives in Tokyo and one lives in like rural town by a lake, and it's about how they magically swap bodies and their experience with it. And it's kind of just it's a real touchy film. Like it gets you right in the feels.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
You
It
feel,
did.
Yeah, you feel a lot of things, but that whole journey for the movie is just really nice.
We've never talked about anything with a lot of crying on this show before.
Nope,
no,
we've
we
never
don't-
talked about other
We don't
anime that have made me
do
cry.
crying at all. No crying here. It's the first sad thing. It's not even that sad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, it's not.
It's happy sad. And
And
there's
also sad.
There's also sad
Like-
sad.
like-
There's happy sad and sad sad. And
But it doesn't end sad.
This is true.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good. It is high quality.
It is. Oh yeah. Do I do hot takes now? Because I can just ask hot takes, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You are. We have now passed the host duties to you.
So I have the
So,
power.
yeah.
I have the power.
I was gonna go with a Devilman Crybaby, like passing the baton deal, because that was. A huge
yeah,
thing.
that was a big theme in Devilman.
Yeah, in Devilman Crybaby.
I haven't watched that.
Oh, you
yet.
haven't seen
watched
Devilman Crybaby yet?
No,
Oh,
it's on
man.
my list.
I figured you had.
I've got to finish.
But we've already. Have you listened to the episode? It already came out.
Last week, don't you know?
Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Uh-huh.
I listened to the intro when I'm gonna watch this anime and then skipped it until the end.
That's fair. Just to hear yourself talk in last week's episode. Is that what you did?
I've been had. Wait, what came out? What's episode 10?
Bakuman?
Yeah.
I did that after Bakuman. Never mind.
Yeah, that was It's
Yeah.
fine. All right, what were you saying? You have the power now, right?
I have the power.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of high quality,
Mm-hmm.
hot cha segues. Wait, no, hot takes. I'm terrible at this.
You're
What
doing
was y'all's hot take on Your Name?
It was really good. I liked it. I need to stop doing that as
I was about to say, like, that's the third time.
initial hot take. Yeah, no. So I saw it when like we were doing like a big movie marathon thing, and I saw it after I was like a little sleep deprived.
Yeah.
So like I really liked it. I was just kind of a little swimmy with my thoughts on it. But yeah, no, the animation is beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just like how it takes like, like some general like storytelling and like anime tropes and then subverts them in some really interesting ways. And yeah, no, just the animation, like this is the entire time I was watching it, just like I kept thinking like, wow, look at these backgrounds. Like I could just stare at these, like just pause the movie and stare at these backgrounds for a long time and look at all these details. It's amazing.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. And it was one of the... I watched it by myself because I did not go to the marathon with you guys.
Your car broke down. It's fine.
Yeah. So I watched it by myself. I was in my apartment. And the movie multiple times I was vocally upset or vocally happy. There was that, like, we'll get into the plot of everything, but the one point where, like, the big twist happens and you learn that, like, the thing hit and then all the people are gone. I was like, oh, my heart! Oh, it hurts! Oh, don't do this to me! Oh, like, literally out loud by myself watching the movie. So it definitely resonated with me emotionally in, like, a really awesome and good way. And it was super pretty.
So pretty.
So pretty.
I was really excited to have you watch it because I know you would see the backgrounds and just
That would be enough.
Just cry.
Gush all
It was
over
just
them.
like-
yeah, crying about how much I love backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's true.
that's part.
No,
That's
are
like
you-
half the reason I wanted to show you that movie.
No, you're a background man.
I love backgrounds.
Have
like,
you seen his desktop?
I have.
Yeah,
It's right there.
it's kind of all over. There's like 3 desktops.
Yeah, there's like
going
3
on
different
right
ones.
now.
Do they switch?
Yeah, they do. They all switch.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Talk about
But
the
yeah,
layout in my room.
I mean, for the first topic I wanted to talk about, I do have animation, so we can jump straight into that.
Yeah, let's
because
do it.
that's
For sure.
basically backgrounds.
Yeah.
Because I think the director Makoto Shinkai is actually, whenever he puts out stuff, I think the first thing he put out was like a full-fledged movie that he himself animated by himself and
Wow.
did
Dang.
everything by himself, and just
That'll
I mean,
get
you
some
could-
chops.
yeah, no, he didn't go to studios or anything, but like say what you want about his like directing and plot and character wise, but just like everything he does is very detailed and very pretty.
Yeah.
It's just it's just really nice to look at.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say one of the moment that probably got me the most with the animation was when well, I guess we should go over the plot first before we jump in. I was going to start talking
Oh
about
yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
like, characters
Yeah, we
and
should do
stuff.
that.
We should probably
We can
do a little quick recap.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's like beginning and end, like general synopsis? How does the story?
Oh right.
What's the story?
I go into spoilers now, right?
Oh
Right.
yeah, no, yeah. This spoiler alert
Okay.
up top here.
Okay.
Haven't seen
Because
Your
that's like half the
Name.
reason I skipped the middle
Should
stuff.
watch it.
Oh.
Because on your guys' podcast, because
Yeah.
I don't. So some things I want to go back and watch, or like I want to
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
and
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
yet.
That's totally
okay.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here it is.
Yeah.
Spoilers
So,
going forward for Your Name.
So, some of the plot, or kind of an overview. There are 2 main characters. There's Taki and there's
Mitsuha.
thank you. And Mitsuha lives in this rural town, and she's a part of this like shrine, and she does like this weird sake thing where she like chews up rice wine and spits it out and does whatever. Rural Japanese things that I don't really understand. And then Taki lives in Tokyo, and they're both like teenagers. And so they begin swapping bodies because they like do weird like dream drop distance Kingdom Hearts drop body switch thing. And they kind of start getting to know each other's lives and kind of write on their hands or in their phones or whatever to communicate with each other. And then as they kind of start to fall in love with each other, but not really, but kind of, on Taki's end, the guy from Tokyo, he can no longer, he stops switching. And he tries to call her and stuff and nothing ever works. So he decides to go out and find her. And when he goes out to find her, the town that he goes to, spoilers, got hit by a meteor and like everybody died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was not only body swapping, but he was also time traveling 3 years to the past. And so he then gets really sad and goes to like this tree that's like a god tree.
I think it's their like family shrine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
That's where the traditions happen.
cool. And so that's where he had put the rice sake, whatever, that she had made, and he put it there in her body. And so he finds it again and drinks some of it to be like, okay, I wish that I could go back one more time to try to save them. And he does. And so then he, through her body, like tries to get everybody out because he's like, this thing, like this meteor's going to come. It's going to kill everyone. And then they like meet up kind of at half light, which is like, I don't know, when
It's Twilight.
It's Twilight.
yeah,
Yeah.
when the worlds collide,
Yeah.
when time is at its weakest, or
Magic hour.
yeah,
as,
whatever.
as photographers say, the magic hour.
So they meet up and talk, and they realize that as soon as they stop connecting, they're going to start forgetting, because he had already begun to forget her and who she was.
Because it's like a dream.
Yeah.
Like, it's like dream logic of like, you can kind of remember it when you wake up, but the details get hazier and hazier
the longer it goes.
Yeah.
So they meet up, and he's like, hey, you have to get out. You're going to die. And she's like, yeah, I saw it through your eyes and what have you. And so she then, in her own body, in her own time, he had like concocted this plan to blow up the power source, to like bomb threat everybody, to evacuate them, so that they would all get out. And her dad is the mayor. It doesn't really work. Then she convinces them to escape, so they all escape. But they forget about each other. They forget each other's names. They forget everything about each other. But since you can kind of remember, like in dreams, like you feel like the feelings that you felt. So they still want to look for each other. They know that there's someone or something out there that they desperately need or want, that they are longing for and missing. So they start looking for each other again, even though they've already forgotten. And because of the little body swap time traveling thing, she does survive. And then the movie ends with her and him like crossing each other, looking and being like, have we met before?
Yeah, and like years later, right?
Yeah, it's like 5 years
they're
later.
already like established adults instead of like being in high school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 years later, and they're still like, I need to find like I'm looking for someone. I'm looking for something. I don't know what it is, but I know I have to find something. And so they end up finding each other, and they're like, do I know you? Do we know each other? And then they ask at the very end, it's like, what's your name? It's like, oh, your name. Oh, it's so great.
I mean, the when the movie starts, like after it's like during the during the opening sequence, it starts with the train ride where they see each other, and it kind of just paints the whole movie as a flashback.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
If you pick up on it, like the movie
I need to watch it
starts
again.
with just them seeing each other on the train, and then it goes into the OP.
Yeah, and
And-
so it's a flashback for who?
So what people have said, I don't know if Shinkai said anything, but I think what I've read and heard is that it's them slowly remembering everything as it comes back to them, because they now see the person in front of them on the train. So it's all of that realization happening in a moment, and then they go find, they get off the train and they go find each other
Oh, gotcha. But then why don't they just run up to each other?
on the train.
No, when they see each other again.
It was
They
no,
still
because
don't
it's
know
still
exactly.
the whole longing for something that you don't know is there,
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's that like feeling can summarize like all of Shinkai's work.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Well, we have you on recording. So
I'm lying to the internet left and right.
Yeah. So, yeah, the whole thing is two people swap bodies, fall in love, but one person died 3 years ago, and then they time travel shenanigans to save everybody.
Mhm.
But they also forget, and then they end up meeting up again, and we assume they fall back in love.
I
Probably.
mean, if you went through that with someone and then decided, nah, I'm good.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a marriage. Okay, there's not just. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they fell in love. It's great. I'm not that much of a cynic. Okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that about sums up the plot. Did I miss any
No, that sounded good
big
to me.
beats? Yeah. I mean, I didn't go into all the feelings
Yeah.
of everything.
Oh, we'll get into this.
Yeah,
We'll get into that, but that's at least like the plot points
Yeah.
of it all.
I'm told that some part of every wish will be heard, but lately I lost sight of the truth in those words. I can't even remember when I gave up believing what could have been the reason of the very moment.
Speaking of big beats, I'm just gonna cancel the animation talk from earlier because we'll segue back to it. But
Okay.
big beats was said, so I was gonna ask about music.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of your segues.
Thanks. So, but yeah, how do you feel about like the sound, like the track for the movie? Because you listen, Kevin
I
listened
watched
to
it.
yeah.
Subbed.
So you listened to
Oh,
the
that's
Japanese
right.
version,
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I see what we're
I
going
did.
for.
and then Noah listened to the English version,
Yeah.
which was done. It's the same band did both versions,
Mhm.
and one band did the entire track for the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
nah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So when Shinkai was making the movie, I think this band recorded everything, and so he could time stuff to the music. I don't know exactly what, but it does go with the music very well, and it's just
Yeah.
it's paced nice. So that same band just did the English version when Funimation wanted to dub it. So, but yeah, like, what did you guys think?
Me, you.
I thought, well, like, yeah, with the dub, I always think that like doing like when there's like an opening sequence with like with Japanese lyrics and stuff, that always sounds really cool because that's the way it's intended. But then you throw English lyrics over, like, it can work out sometimes. Most of the times, just because like trying to cram English into verses that are intended for Japanese can be really clumsy. I thought it was done well here.
Yeah.
'Cause I prefer the Japanese, but I thought the English was really good.
Fair enough. I mean, I did notice that because I've seen both, because of course I have, because I'm a giant weeb. The when they when the band Radwibs did the English part, they did change some of the music timings so that English words would flow better. I did notice that. Like, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not just we're gonna cram English words into the same spot. It's
Yeah.
like we'll make it work type deal. And I think they did a decent job as well. But what do
Yeah,
you think about
I
the
saw it
Japanese version?
in Japanese and it was great. So it was really cool that I liked how in like multiple points in the movie they just had like they would just start singing on top of like stuff that's going on. So I thought it added a whole lot to like the feel of the movie. And I talk about this almost all the time, but when music and art and everything drives the point or drives the plot, that's when you know that it's like doing its job. And I think that the music added a whole lot to the feelings and the emotions that the colors and the characters were trying to pull out.
Okay.
And so I think that it was very kind of lighthearted, but also kind of like a lot of the times the music kind of, it just was like soaked in emotion all the time.
Yeah.
And very emotional music to make like to really draw out those feelings. So I think the music did like a really, really good job of continuing and like furthering what the movie was trying to get across.
That's fair.
And
Okay.
made me sad and happy.
So then my follow-up question is, have you gone back and listened to just the soundtrack by itself?
No, I watched the movie like 2 days ago.
Right. Okay. So you don't have to do this now, but if you go back and watch it, just let me know if you cry, because I've definitely sat at my job listening to the soundtrack, and my coworker comes over and goes, "Why are you crying?" I'm just looking at him going, "This music is so good."
Yeah.
I am that way whenever I bet I would
Okay.
because I will say I didn't cry in the movie when I watched it. I really didn't. I would tell you if I did.
Okay.
I did yell out in anguish, but I didn't cry. But I am that way still with Your Lie in April, which
Okay.
is when I hear that soundtrack, I'm like, oh, my heart, no, please. So I'm sure that if I listen to this soundtrack again, I'll be like, oh, no, it hurts. It hurts so good.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah. Do you feel that way, Noah?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Soundtrack. it adds a lot to like help you guide what you should be feeling and what you're probably feeling as you're watching it. So
It made me feel so sad in so many good ways.
I think the band did a really good job. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Also, all the soundtracks on Spotify.
It is.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both
Well, then
versions.
that's even
Wow.
more reason that I should
Plug
listen
for
to
Spotify
it.
and Radwebs. I'm hitting all the sponsors that we don't have.
We
that
don't
you
have
don't
any-
have.
yeah, yeah.
What do you mean we? I'm the guest. But I have the power.
You do it. You have the power. You have the power of the sponsors. The sponsors are backing you right now, not us.
This is for you, sponsors.
I'm telling you, man. So
Perfect.
when we started, I said, man, now that I have our own mics, whispering's gonna be hard not to do. Now you know. You know, man. It's tough.
irresistible.
It is irresistible.
I mean, I've definitely just thought about like at one point in the show just going, "Same way you marry me."
Just slide that one in there.
Slide it in.
Didn't you already ask that though?
That's not the point.
Oh, okay. Well,
What if she said no?
but she already said yes.
That's not the point.
Also, when you say that, would you like? You'd have to like time her listening to the episode so you could be like show up right behind her as she turns her head.
That's very anime.
Yeah, just Nani.
Nailed it.
It's fine. Anyway, you can cut that out, right?
No, that's not
Sure.
getting cut out. We could cut that out. Yes, we could. But see,
Anyway.
you have the power now,
Anyway.
but I have the power later. And then Noah has the power.
But together
after
we
that.
have a now and later. Okay. Anyway,
By our powers combined, we are.
we are candy.
This is all too great to know.
Anyway.
Anyways.
What do you guys think was about like the animation? Like, I think it looked good.
Oh yeah, no,
Like-
all the like, God, like the backgrounds are great. The quality of movement, especially like if you like, I think like me and Kevin were talking a little bit before
Yeah.
the show about like the traditional like shrine maiden dancing.
Oh my gosh,
scene.
that was
like it's
so
so fluid, and it just looked like I'm sure there's a lot of authenticity with you know like how that stuff was treated.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was really great. The facial animations have to be to convey those emotions, but those are all
Yeah, the
amazing.
facial animations were something that really stood out to me more so because in movies they normally do a much better job about it than in just anime like TV shows and stuff because they crank those things out so fast. But the whole movement of everything was so smooth. Where I thought it was really really interesting and kind of very impressive that when they would switch bodies, that how they moved was very very different.
Yeah,
So it's
a lot of subtlety in the body acting.
yeah, specifically when I'm never gonna say her name right.
Mitsuha.
Mitsuha.
And Mitsuha was in Taki's body, and he became like super sheepish.
Yep.
And when he would when she would try to run as him, it looked just real silly.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was like super cool that they put so much energy into the animations that you could very easily tell that that's a lady in a dude's body, or like the time where Taki and Mitsuha's body like kicks the desk at the people because they're like talking smack about him/her. That was like all of a sudden like everything was very like rigid and like single lined movements, like very much like a guy would be instead of how Mitsuha would be. So I thought like how they animated and through the animation to show kind of what was going on, since it was the same voice actress or actor in that thing. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. And also, I think a trademark thing of that director, what's his name again?
Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah, a trademark Shinkai thing, because like they did a lot in a Place Promised in Our Future Days or whatever. I can't remember the name of that movie. People who knows what I'm talking about. But
never mind.
Yeah, but he likes to do a lot of light blooming effects, like a lot of like reflective light, kind of like lens effects. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like not necessarily like
The lens flare, but
yeah, not
like a
necessarily like
little-
J.J. Abrams, but like even like the way like it does like a lot of close-ups on the cell phones, and just like the way that just the subtle glow off of the cell phone is just like
Yeah,
Oh,
or
it's so
like when
good.
he's in the shrine and he like puts his cell phone down
yeah,
to like take
Yeah.
the
lights
light.
up
Yeah.
the like towards the ceiling. Yeah,
Yeah.
This It's
Yeah.
very good.
And also, like, when he takes the rice wine, he has that, like, weird acid trip kind of deal. When he's, like...
That
eating-
animation is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so... Like, that whole scene, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. It looks so good.
And it looks nothing like Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah, it looks
It's
nothing
just
like
like-
the rest of the movie because he's, like, tripping on, like, rice wine acid or whatever it is.
I think that's one criticism he's gotten in the past was that everything looks too detailed and very rigid and like the real world.
Yeah.
And-
not necessarily taking advantage of the like medium of anime
Yeah.
or
And
animation.
Yeah, and I was watching someone just like I've watched like 10 videos on this movie because I absolutely
You're a
love
little
this.
obsessed.
A little bit, but
That's why you're here.
thanks.
You're welcome.
But like I know he's like someone gave him props for just like he let the animation team just do whatever they want for like 2 minutes, which resulted in that huge acid trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
and it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
absolutely stunning.
Yeah, lots of really cool colors and, like, a lot of really, like, super neat stuff.
Just the way the water drop turns into the comet gets me
Yeah,
every time.
it's so good, man. Yeah, and I think that he does a really good job with, like, vibrant colors and stuff like that too. Because, like, one scene that really sticks out in my mind is when, like, right as he's, like, falling back, he sees, like, the shooting star, and because that tree is also, like, in a crater or whatever, and that, like, oh, like, this happened before and what have you, and it's, like, super bright colors that leads right into the whole, like, 2-minute stuff. It's so good.
That scene is beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
it's really, really good.
I'm a fan. But anyway, I want to go back to the voice,
I
like
wanna talk
that
about
stuff
that
real
too.
quick, because I think he also said in an interview like when they were recording it, when the lady, I don't know their names, and I'm not gonna look them up.
That's okay.
The voice
And,
actors?
Yeah, like they're both good. They're both really good voice actors. But when like the lady would be recording lines in Taki's body, she would stand like broad-shouldered, legs wide, like as a boy, and like start shouting and stuff. And then when the dude did the stuff in Mitsuha's body, he would like put his legs together and be very meek. And I think that's kind of what they cued off of when they did animation for it.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like the voice actors did a lot, like both vocally and just like body language wise.
Like a lot of like physical acting.
Yeah,
as
like-
they were doing.
yeah,
the
and
voice
gave
acting.
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I've seen, because I watch Critical Role, which is all the voice actors playing D&D or whatever, and so I kind of like now have an interest in like that whole career and stuff. And so a lot of people when they do voice acting stuff kind of do that, like embody what they are to kind of help with their voice and that kind of stuff.
Well, like like help deliver it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, like even like there'll be like a storyboard, but like most of the time, like animation teams will sit in on VO sessions to like see how they should like follow through that animation and kind of get cues off of like what the voice actors are doing.
So yeah, that's really cool that like the voice acting and the animation, all that stuff are all like in one thing to like produce how they act and talk and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it's not easily translatable to English, but in Japanese, when you speak, you use different like end vowels essentially, kind of like Spanish. Like things are either masculine or feminine, and when you speak, you're supposed to use the one for you or something like that. Like a boy would use the masculine ones, and the female would use feminine ones. So when they're in different bodies, they use the ones that for the opposite gender that they're in.
Oh wow.
Which is something that doesn't translate well to English, but it translates very like in Japanese. It makes a lot of sense. Which is the scene where Mitsuha / Taki is on the roof of the school with
the
her two
guys.
friends, and it does like the him thing.
Yeah.
Like I think subbed it's him her him, and then in dubbed it's just like he uses the same pronoun twice or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the subbed, I watched it really recently. He goes her, and they look at him, and he goes stud, and they're like, and then she's like guy, and they're like, yeah, okay. So I guess I didn't really understand that at the time because to me I was like, so she was like trying to figure out what he would call himself, but I guess it's more of this type of deal of she's like, oh, what is the boy vowel for this?
Yeah.
Like this kind of talk.
Yeah, that's what that scene kind of actuates, which doesn't translate well, but that's like that whole thing goes out throughout the entire movie, and I just wanted to point that out because that's also really cool. Just
Yeah, and
the
that's
fact that
really
everything-
hard on those voice actors too to be able to flip flop
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
sure.
I just wanted to point that out.
That's sweet.
Do you guys have anything else like voice acting wise or?
I was gonna say that's really interesting that the voice actors could like. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of professional voice actors can play both men and women, but to kind of do that throughout the whole movie to really give that off along with the animation, all that stuff. Really cool.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Alright, well, do we want to move to characters? Because we've kind of got, like, actors and the characters. We could... That's a nice segue, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Segue. There are flying segways now.
Are there?
Are there really?
Yeah, there's like a jetpack thing where you stand on and it kind of lifts you up and it goes...
Like the water one?
No,
Okay, I've
it doesn't
seen
shoot
those.
water. It's I mean, he's doing... The video I saw was over a lake, but you don't want... Because you don't want to fall and die, but...
That's fair.
Yeah, it just looks like a Segway and it flies.
Well, that's impressive.
Cool.
That's my Segway.
Segways.
You have one?
No,
Your-
that's
oh,
my
okay.
Segway
Oh,
to acting or to characters.
Characters.
Got
of
'em.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
There we go.
All
So
right.
What do we think of characters? What we should go? Should we go with?
Go in order?
Do we want to go? What's?
Would it
No,
be-
do we want to save main characters for last or first?
You have the power.
I do have the power. I have. Okay. I don't know. What? I don't know. I don't know anyone else's name other than the two main characters.
There's Tessie. Isn't that his name?
Who's that?
That's
The dude.
the dude.
Mitsuha's dude friend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Okay, let's do Mitsuha's area
Misu's-
first.
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do like her best friend and dude friend.
I only remember Tessie, so I'm better than you guys. That's the only one I know.
Apparently, but I can pronounce her name right, so
Yeah, I can't.
it's fine. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do any characters really stand out over there?
I don't know. Tetsie's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was rad.
Yeah.
He blew
Yeah.
stuff up.
He did.
I was a fan.
I think there's a whole like subplot with her and her dad, with Mitsuha and her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing that kind of goes on, and
They don't really focus on it very much.
yeah, it's not focused on or anything.
It's only really shown in
It's like the climax.
Well, and in the acid
And
trip.
the acid trip.
Oh right. Yeah.
They
Where-
show that her mom, that she was living with her parents, and that her mom died, and that her dad didn't want to do anything with the shrine anymore. 'Cause and he's like, I loved my wife. I didn't marry into the shrine.
Right.
And the grandma's like, but you took on the name. And he's like, well, I took on the wife. I'm not taking on the shrine. And so then he leaves to go be a politician
Yeah.
and leaves her and her sister with her grandma.
Mhm.
That's all shown in the flashback, acid trip, whatever thing.
Yeah. And I guess like some of the other best like plot points on her side is she's doing the like traditional like shrine maiden stuff. And like it's like, you know, her family tradition to do that stuff, but she isn't like super into it. Like mostly she's just embarrassed by the way it's perceived by her classmates when they like see her performing it. And her kind of like accepting that like she just doesn't need to get super caught up in what, you know, her classmates think because the traditions are important to like it's at least like to her family, and that, you know, like those values are important.
Yeah. It is of note that their family is like the family name that settled the town, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like they're the head family of that whole area.
Gotcha. I
Like-
also thought it was weird that they didn't know why they did what they did.
What do you mean?
So they were sitting there and they were talking about it, and they said, you know, all this stuff burned down in the fire, and so we don't know what these traditions mean. I'm pretty sure she says that. It's the scene where they're like, it's showing the grandma like doing the tying the thing,
Yeah.
and she's like tying the whatever, and then she starts talking about the Great Fire.
Huh.
And she goes, you know, like all the traditions, a lot of them burned down in the Great Fire, but traditions are important. We've been doing this like to continue to do this. We need to continue this tradition. So even if we don't know all of the meanings, we still need to continue this tradition.
I must have missed that.
I also might be making that up.
Well then,
I don't think I am.
viewers, let us know.
Yeah. Tweet in at what's your Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter.
Tweet in at Jonathan's Twitter.
Just like email me.
You're on a podcast now. You have to have a Twitter.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
It's too late.
I also don't have a Twitter. My Twitter is the podcast Twitter.
Yeah, I know. You can't talk. Just email me. It's fine.
What's your email address?
Don't worry about it.
Good answer.
Tweet at me at Uzi Neon, and I can like telephone game with a can and a string relay it back to Jonathan.
Okay, what's the
What
thing
is
with your
up with
Twitter?
you and cans?
It's a bit, you know,
No one
they're
else is gonna
used
get
for
that.
a lot of different things.
Okay.
like storing food.
like storing food
And
or
communications.
referring to communications referring to cans or headphones.
Noah is a communications major. We kind of have to give him this.
Exactly.
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
I'm an authority.
Yeah.
He has the power.
Yeah, he has the power. I'm the authority.
So what am I?
You're the Flash. Look at your shirt. It's fine.
That's
This is
not
Captain
the Flash.
Marvel / Shazam.
I'm so sorry.
Boo,
How dare you.
How dare you?
You can cut that out, right?
We cut nothing. So yeah, Mitsuha, her and her dad, that was pretty cool. And it was also neat to see where Taki as Mitsuha couldn't convince the dad that Mitsuha as Mitsuha could.
Right. Yeah.
They don't show you how she does that, but she does.
I think it's just like a attitude type thing. Like
He could tell that
this is not my daughter that I know because you're acting totally out of whack.
Yeah.
As opposed to when Mitsuha goes back the second time as herself, it's just like this is what Mitsuha would do in this situation type deal.
Yeah.
I also think the fact that now that a ruckus has been caused as opposed to it was a false thing and then they blew something up and then
Yeah,
so
well,
now something is blown up.
because the meteor had already split at that point.
That's fair. Yeah.
So he could
that's
also be like, "That's literally the thing I'm talking about. It's going to hit. Can we please leave?"
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. That was good.
Yeah. So I thought the dad whole angle and stuff was an interesting kind of wrinkle to really add like some real what's the word?
Authenticity.
That one to her character and kind of all of that situation. That she has much more of she as a character has a lot more going on in her life than just what the
this
movie
boy.
shows, or just this dude.
Yeah.
Like she has like a lot really going on.
And
in her life.
Taki's got that too. Like he's got his own friend group, and the fact that they never express it, but like he's becoming, or they never outright tell you, but he's like an architectural major that wants to be an architect when he grows up, and they drop hints to it all through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the way their rooms are organized is very like personality wise, their rooms are organized very specific ways.
Yeah, they do a lot of telling through. They do a lot of show don't tell.
Yeah,
So they tell a whole lot about the
Yeah.
characters by just things that they show you on the screen.
yeah. There's a lot of visual storytelling that goes on.
Yeah.
And I don't think is there really an exposition moment that I'm trying to remember, like if it's
It's like kind of
just
like an exposition dump.
yeah,
of like
oh, this fighter is moving faster because he did this.
The
Or-
only,
or just like I'm this character and this is all about me kind of thing. Like there's
Right.
not really that moment.
Yeah,
I would say the only moment where that would be like that 2-minute like crazy trip thing where they like dump all of her history.
that's fair.
But that's still like a decent amount of showing.
well, yeah, they dump her entire history in like a minute
Yeah.
through showing.
Yeah.
So, but that would be the only point in the whole movie where they're kind of dumping a bunch of information at you. But they do it through showing and not telling. There's not a single point in the whole movie where they sit down and like talk at you.
This is what is happening. Right.
Yeah. So
I gotta give the movie props for that.
I also thought that her friends were super cool, especially the guy that blew stuff up. He was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Fair enough. I think her sister is the best.
Her sister, yeah,
sister's
her
pretty
poor
great.
sister, man. Her sister has to go through a lot.
Yeah. The best part about that, like, man, I think that so there's the boob gag.
Right.
I think we all know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
But like they take that, like, it's like certain types of anime like have like what do you call it?
Fan service?
Yeah, fan service, like ichi fan service issue. That's just a trope of anime.
Right.
And this takes that and then, like, he's a teenage boy who wakes up in a girl's body. First thing you go for is the boobs.
Right.
But it takes that and subverts it in really cool ways. Like, especially like when he thinks that the switching has stopped and then he switches again.
Right.
And then he starts touching boobs, but then is crying at the same
You're
time.
just so happy that she's alive.
Yeah. And then her sister walks in and is like, "What are you doing?" And then he like starts crying and touching his boobs, like while like running toward her. And then she just slams the door. That was a great moment.
The boob gag that like actually works.
Yeah.
In context and
Yeah.
isn't overly fan servicey.
Yeah, it's not overly fan servicey. It makes sense because we're dealing with teenagers, and it doesn't linger too long for it to be like weird and gross.
Yeah. It's not like just him too. Like she also does the thing where she looks down
Yeah.
and the first time is like, what is this? What is going on? So it's fine. I think it was fine.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it was also really cool the way we're just kind of like going through some moments now. I liked when the way she related to the big city from like a small town kind of perspective, especially when they go to like the nice restaurant and she's like taking pictures of food and stuff and just like all really excited about the food, and everyone's just like I don't know, I guess this place is okay, it's expensive, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, they were, because they walked in and was like, man, this is some nice woodwork up here, like this is a nice place. She's like, this is a dog cafe, oh my gosh, this is the greatest. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
There's cool symbolism in the movie. Like, there's a lot of stuff. The red hairband that she has is in Japanese lore. The red strand is supposed to like be fate.
Okay.
Like, that's just a common through line in Japan.
Okay.
And so they take that and make it like the hairband and the Taki's, that turns into Taki's wristband and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's just another little tick mark for Japanese culture.
Yeah. Because I definitely did see that, like, that whole thing. Because, like, even at the beginning, there's, like, the whole thing that's, like, surrounding them.
The
and
opening,
they're, like, and they're, like, going, he, like, grabs it and stuff. So I did get at the end, like, oh, that's, like, I thought it was their connection. Like, oh, they're connected by
like,
what
exactly.
have you or whatever.
They're connected by fate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you pay attention to the opening spoils the movie.
Really?
If you pay attention, you can call it out. Yeah.
They show a meteor hitting the thing and exploding and killing everybody, but then it not really killing everybody.
They show a disaster and they show the age gap. When they show, there's like 3 splash panels of them growing up, like in the OP of the movie, and it's very obvious where you see like kids of them, and then Taki shoots up and grows in height, and Mitsuha doesn't, and then it goes to adult. So like if you catch the intro part, like the intermediate part, it'll be like there's an age difference somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And you can kind of guess the rest of it.
Interesting.
Huh. Also, there's Mother's Basement does a really good breakdown of the OP on YouTube.
Okay.
Mother's Basement?
Yeah.
Cool.
I
don't know what that is.
Shout out.
Shout outs to
Sponsors.
Mother's Basement.
Sponsors.
He has his own. He needs money anyway. Don't worry about it.
Sweet.
I've watched too many videos on this movie.
Cool.
Well, sure. On a scale from like, we're gonna focus on like the emotional part because you guys did crying stuff and then you guys didn't do crying stuff, and so now this is
for the ratings.
Emotional. Yeah, for the ratings.
Okay.
So
ratings.
On a scale from like,
this isn't gonna work what I had planned. Okay, go on.
Okay.
Sorry, I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So from like on a scale from like 1 to like fetal position in a bed.
Oh boy.
How do you sit on that?
Okay. Crying in the shower. So like you get in the shower and you turn on and you start crying because you don't want anyone else to know you're crying, but like you're crying.
That's fair.
Can I do teardrops in the rain?
Ooh.
That's fair.
You're outside.
That's dramatic.
It's outside. You think she stood you up. You're standing there in the rain, convincing yourself it's not tears, and then she turns the corner and something that she was really late, something had happened, and the tears then turn to joy at the very end. And that's that right there. That like sadness is like hopeful sadness because you see something, because it ends on a good note. The movie does.
Well, that just makes me sad because now I'm just thinking of Full Metal Alchemist. Which, have y'all seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes.
All the way through. I'm just thinking of when.
Wait. Original or Brotherhood?
Brotherhood.
I've seen Brotherhood.
I've seen Brotherhood too, right? Yeah, it's when Mustang, when they're at Hughes' funeral.
Don't.
Oh gosh.
It's raining today, but it's not. Oh.
It's raining pretty hard. Mustang's the best.
Makes me so sad. There's so many things in that show that make me sad.
Anyway, I remembered something.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about how many times you thought the movie was going to end?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that's really good.
It is really good. So, like, I guess the thing that comes to mind the most is, and it'd be heartbreaking, but when they're writing their names on each other's hands.
Yep.
And if it just cut right after she disappears, that'd just be the worst. Because it does cut there, right? It cuts to black, and then, like, it comes back.
It comes back, but it cuts to black.
You're just sitting there thinking, like, please don't end.
Yeah.
Please don't do this to me.
I think that was one of the moments where I said, like, do not do that. I was, like, very bold, like, you do not do this to me, movie. Like, you do not. Don't. And it came back, I was like, all right, good.
Well, the thing was, after that happened, like, it does her whole sequence of, like, trying to get the town safe, and then it cuts back to Taki at some point, who's just trying to remember, and he's sitting there on the mountain just trying to remember and not being able to, and it's a smaller cut to black, but it cuts to black there as well. And I was just like,
Don't you dare.
don't you do this.
Yeah. That, and then there was a time at the very, very end of the movie. You know, they had walked by each other like 2 or 3 times. They're trying to remember each other and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so they like see each other and they see each other like, oh, there they are. They're walking up the stairs and then they're like kind of embarrassed, like, oh, it's probably not that person. And they kind of like shuffle by. Then he stops and turns around. And I was like, movie, if he does not talk to her, so help me, I will be so upset with you. And then because like he was walking up, and that was another part. I was like, you better like man up, talking. You can do it. You can do it. And I was like, if they don't turn back and look at each other and they just walk on, like, so help me, I would never watch one of your movies again. I'll find who you are. But they do, and it ends happy. So it's okay.
They only said like 2 things.
Yeah, but they said, but they're at least talking, so they've now met. So now I take that to mean they fall madly in love and live happily ever after.
Yeah, but like you always want people to kiss, right? Like
I'm okay with them not kissing. It would be nice. Okay. I do enjoy kissing, but it's okay.
I just want to watch people make out, man.
Do you?
No, I mean,
is that a thing you like?
No, that's an inside joke with Sam.
Well, we're not Sam.
I mean, people making out's nice. It's fun to watch.
Sam, please write in to confirm this information.
Sam's not gonna back me up. I'm spineless. Yeah. Do it, I dare you.
That was definitely one of the points where I thought the movie that was one where I was like, this movie could end with them not seeing each other and I'd be very upset.
Yeah.
Or it like that whole time after they had like grown up,
mm-hmm.
I was just waiting for the movie to end, and I was like, it could end literally at any time.
Yeah, because like the song starts really early,
so early,
and then it's just like it's going, and it's like, oh, this is the ending credits. Oh, this is the ending credits. Why haven't they met yet? Come on, movie, what are you doing to me?
Yeah,
I definitely cried twice in theaters, and then when it cuts to black, when she writes the line, I definitely audibly gasped, and my friend who was sitting next to me just like reached over and slapped me, just like, wow.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough moment to see, like the line, like him just sitting, and then she just disappears.
Yeah,
and then that stupid talkie wrote "I love you." Like,
yeah, what a loser!
Come on, man, what are you doing?
Like, I appreciate it, but like. You're putting a wrench in the works here.
How are you gonna make out if you don't know who you are?
They never make out.
They never make out.
What a sad story.
It's fine.
It ends up okay.
We can assume they make out.
Yeah. Assuming the makeout is like, you know,
half the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
Wait, what?
Knowing's half the battle.
Oh.
References.
Okay.
To things that were a decade before we were born.
I watched a little bit of G.I. Joe back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, I did. I had like G.I. Joe dolls and stuff when I was younger. Like really little.
Do you call them dolls or action figures?
I think I called them action figures. They were dolls. It's fine. They were dolls. Whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed.
Okay. As long I'm just clarifying.
Not ashamed. Cool. Just a tad.
Words like tomorrow or future or fate, no matter how far they extend their hands, we breathe, we dream, we raise our love in a timeless land that is far out of reach. Even the second our hands of the clock, they look at us sideways.
All right, well, I think
is that gonna do it?
That might be it. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
That was the one thing I remembered.
Sweet.
Cool. Well, you are welcome to stick around while we talk about some more stuff. But thanks a bunch.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Your name was super great. I appreciate it. If you have other things you'd like to share with us, you can still just share them with us, and you don't have to wait.
I actually have something, but I'm not gonna do it on your podcast. It's fine. I'll just give it to you.
What do you want to tell us now, so everyone else can hear what the thing is we're gonna check out?
Sure. So, there's a band called Thank You Scientist.
Okay.
And they have 2 albums out, and I really like their music. I think like I've gone through Spotify just to find different music I like, because I have my taste is very varied. So now that all my saved songs are on there, I think every single one of their songs from both of their albums is on that list.
Wow.
Because whenever one comes on, I like this song a lot, and I'm just gonna sing it.
What kind of genre is it?
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the place.
No.
Undefinable.
It is definable, but I don't know the genre name. they sound the most like Coheed and Cambria.
Okay.
They sound
it's kind of a little prog rocky.
It's prog rocky,
like new prog rock, like
Yeah.
NU dash prog rock.
Yes, it's lighter. It's lighter than Coheed. It's like, I don't know how to describe music. I can tell you how I feel. Well, no, I can't even do that. I can't words. It's a lighter. It's a lighter. I feel like it's prog rock with like 5% of ska for like the instrument variation, because they use a lot of horns and like strings and stuff. But
Okay.
I just really like the band. I think everyone should listen to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's check
Thank
it out.
you,
To at least
scientist.
try it. Yeah, thank you, scientists.
All right,
Now,
well,
now the fan base will demand that we do an episode about that, and by fan base I mean Sam.
Same word.
I know she already likes them a lot.
Well,
She's
Sam,
told
we'll
me
just
about
talk
them.
to Sam about it. We'll listen to it, and then we'll talk to Sam about it.
All right.
There are other people who listen, though.
Like
Your mom
who?
listens.
Yeah, my mom listens.
I know his mom.
Noah's mom listens. Yeah.
Jordan listens when it's something that she's familiar with.
So she'll probably listen to this one.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think she was like half asleep for that movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad. I've told a lot of people about it, so maybe other people
Yeah.
listen.
Hi, Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
what's up, Pat?
Probably doesn't listen to this.
Hi, Pat.
You should though. He's
We
a cool
really
guy.
should look up the analytics for our download numbers.
Do you have
I-
that?
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, you do? Yeah, you should.
I can show you guys after
Yeah.
this.
I would love to see your analytics.
Sure, I'll pull them up. I'll pull it up after this.
I'm a math dude.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
I play with numbers for a living.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
You're the king.
Thanks.
Can I have the power back?
Do I have to go to you?
Well, I have to give something to Noah,
Oh.
Yeah. Not the power, but
not the power.
there's the handoff. Oh,
He's
Kevin.
eating the power.
Just
He swallowed the power whole.
I tried to pull the mic away a little bit. I don't know how loud that
A
was.
little bit. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So Noah, yeah, feel free to chime in. You're still here. You're still a human. You have a mic in your hand.
I don't know.
You just don't have the power.
Yeah, I have the power. Sorry for everyone who I screamed really loud. So Noah,
Uh-huh.
this time I'm going to give you a book to read.
A book, like a book.
Like a novel.
Oh.
It's a pretty quick and easy read.
Okay.
So I think I blew through it. I could blow through it in a week, though I have read it twice before.
That's what she said.
Hey.
I blew through it in a week.
Hmm.
I don't know if that works.
We'll keep it. I'm going to give you a novel. It's by Jim Butcher.
Okay.
It is the first series. It is the first book in a series. It is called. Oh gosh, what is it called? I thought of the second book just now, not the first book. Oh, it's called Stormfront.
Mhm.
It is the first series in the Dresden Files
Okay.
books.
Yeah, I think you've been trying to get me to read this for
I
a
have
while.
been, and now you have to.
And now I
Is this
now
what
I
you use the
have-
podcast for, Kevin?
I have the
You
power.
use your podcast for
biggest
evil and
success.
not good.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
So this is it is the Dresden Files, so it's urban fantasy. So it's what if magic was real and right now? Whoa, what would that look like? And so it is by Jim Butcher. He's a good author. He does a few other series. He does like the Fury series and some other stuff. I've read all like 15 of these books.
Wow.
I really like them.
That's a lot of books.
And the first one's pretty short. It's probably about like 250 pages, 300 pages, something like that. And it's like a really, really easy read. You can just like breeze right through it. There's not a lot of like technical things or like heavy reading. And it's has enough action that it kind of you want to go through it pretty quick. But it follows Harry Dresden. He is a wizard for hire. You can find him in the Yellow Pages. And he, yeah, that's what he says. He's in
What he
like the
says,
phone
alright.
book. And he has his own shop, and he like set up and do like help people with stuff, or he'll like help the police sometimes. And the big crux of this book is there are some murders going around where like people's hearts have like exploded out of their chests.
Ooh.
So their like heart cavities are like wide open, and all the people are like, we can't figure out how this is done. And he's like, it's magic. And so he goes and helps them, and then he goes and does stuff and introduces a bunch of cool characters. So yeah, the Dresden Files by
Alright.
Jim Butcher. I have it on Kindle. I can give it to you, so you don't have to go buy the book.
Okay, cool.
Because
that
I
helps.
don't. I mean, I think I could also find the book in paperback. Would you prefer it in paperback, or would you prefer it on a
I'd
Kindle?
I'd rather Kindle.
Okay,
so I
I'll
can,
get it to you on
read
Kindle
on
then.
tablet and phone and
Yeah.
whatnot.
So
Yeah, I like me a good detective yarn.
it is detective-y. It's like magic detective plus some urban fantasy. I don't know. It's like magic detective. We'll go with that.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But we will do that next time
Yeah.
on Dude Check This Out.
Yeah.
Jon-e Boii, Jonathan,
Yeah, boy.
thank you for being here. Noah,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Kevin,
That's you.
You
I'm happy I was here.
All thanks to the man with the
do
power.
that to yourself?
Do I do what to
You
myself?
address yourself in the third person?
Not all the time, but Kevin does sometimes.
Only in, only when you have the power?
Only when I have the power. So I have to do it until, I guess. I mean, Kevin has to do it until 2 weeks from now, I guess.
You've already messed it up.
I already have. It's all my power. It's fading away. Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye.
That's it. That's
That's
a podcast.
it. Woo, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Sweet. So how loud was that yell?
It's pretty loud. I mean, it definitely peaked.